This Smash Ultimate League discovers some secrets behind the partnership with Square Enix and different characters. Let's talk about it!
Block content.
What's happening, my Block buddies, and welcome to a brand new episode of Blocked Content's Leak Speak. My name is Callum, and this is going to be your content from today. Okay, guys, we need to talk about this. This is a really interesting, kind of different episode than we usually do. Of course, we break down everything in terms of speculation and leaks, and normally these are like lists or people's ideas, or even different people, coming out and saying, hey, I work on the inside, and this is information that I know, and these are usually lists with different characters or reveals or a trailer breakdown or something like that. But today is actually something very different that we're going to break down. This is actually inside of different company information, right? This talks about Square Enix, Nintendo, the business side of partnerships that might actually end up being real. We've heard a lot about Square Enix and especially Cloud's involvement. And then, of course, when you introduce a character like that in Super Smash Bros. For, Wii U, 3DS, and then you have this whole new concept for a game like Smash Bros. Ultimate that brings back everybody, but you had specific business deals in place, well, that makes things a lot more difficult, right? So are we going to get more Square characters? This is where all the talk about Geno comes in and stuff like that. Is this the end of it? Is it going to be a very different type of partnership going forward? What's the deal with the Final Fantasy music? What's the deal with Cloud and Hero? And why did they get chosen for Smash? What's the business deal behind that? Well, today we get to dive into everything regarding that, and I couldn't be more excited because, of course, we've broken down so many lists of different characters and character reveals that I'm very, very excited to talk about something that is a little bit more business insider for this episode, right? And of course, I've also been answering many of you guys' questions about Smash Bros. Ultimate and new fighters in our show Question Blocked, where I answer your questions. What do I think of your favorite game? How do you start making YouTube videos? Well, whatever you can think of, send your question through to blockedcontentmail@gmail.com, and I will answer your question live on the show in our next Question Blocked episode. And we are hard at work preparing brand new content for Blocked Content, so brand new shows that are very different than this one, like a Let's Play show. Do you have any games that you want us to play on the show? Let me know in the comments down below, and we'll take a look. Alright guys, let's head into the main topic of today, and that's this post that I want to break down. Of course, that's the sad Pepe Frog right here. That has a reason. I'll go into that as well. But yeah, this is a lot of business insider stuff, so hold on to your horses, and let's talk about this. It says, okay, I'll go straight to the point. I have information regarding Square Enix and Super Smash Bros. First off, no, we are not getting another character from this company. With that out of the way, let me reveal a few things about the characters that are already in the game and those who are not. Well, the first thing I want to mention was that Hero's inclusion in Smash was nothing more than a business deal. See, Hero was added solely so that Square Enix could receive a share of money after agreeing on making Cloud a character for the base game, which, by the way, they're still angry over that. In regards to the poor representation of Final Fantasy, it's because of two main factors. The first being the price for the usage of every character and song in the game. To my understanding, out of all the third-party characters that Nintendo had to pay to use, Cloud and Hero were the most expensive, and the second factor as to why the Final Fantasy representation is poor is so Super Smash Bros. Can conflict with the lore of Final Fantasy. I know that sounds stupid, but if you want to blame someone for that, blame Nomura. And of course, a lot of people have already talked about that very specific fact with even the newest game, right? Another thing I want to add are the characters. I don't know anything about how Trials of Mana and Bravely Default got added as spirits, but what I do know is that this will be the last bit of Square Enix content that you will see in the game. Okay? Fan favorite Sora will not be included in the game due to Disney owning part of the license and due to the conflicting lore reason that Final Fantasy has. As for Geno, Square Enix is completely fine with letting the character be playable, and at a point during Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, they wanted him and Tetra to become characters. However, Nintendo is the one who for some reason is preventing Geno from becoming playable. I don't know exactly why Nintendo refuses to make Geno playable, but I think that Paper Mario interview might have something to do with it. Alright, totally crazy information, of course very different than the stuff that we usually break down, but what is inside inside of here is of note, and it actually talks about a lot of things that we've actually rumored about and that we've heard a lot of different sources actually say. Yes, the fact that Cloud is the most expensive character that they could have bought for DLC purposes, that kind of makes sense. Even if you see all the other heavy hitters, I mean, there's a lot of big characters in there like Joker, you know, the Persona franchise, and even stuff like Banjo-Kazooie, but it does kind of make sense because Final Fantasy is such a huge franchise, and that deal still being in place from Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, Sakurai of course had to say, well, we want the base roster to be completely in the game already. When you first boot it up, you need to have Cloud in that roster already, you know, aside from all the stuff regarding the World of Light mode, right? The Cloud needs to be in the trailers, Cloud needs to be front and center with all the other characters, right? And that's of course where they sort of drew the line. That probably made that business arrangement a whole lot more different. And now hearing that basically Hero was put into the game, not because they specifically wanted that character in the game, or that Sakurai asked for it specifically, or even that Nintendo asked for it specifically, but it was basically done just so they can make more money on the back end. Yes, maybe they won't make that much money anymore on having Cloud in the game, because of course people don't even have to buy Cloud for that game, right? So they don't get a share from that at all. But of course, you can have a deal in place for Hero, a character that a lot of people are going to be spending money on. Of course, if they buy the full Fighters Pass with all the characters in there, probably a, you know, equal share goes to all those different characters, or maybe bigger shares on bigger companies' parts, right? I wouldn't say that, you know, Fatal Fury gets just as much. I don't think that that is all realistic, right? And even Rare, you know, Microsoft being a very different sort of partnership over there as well. So it's really difficult to kind of dive into exactly why, but I think the lore reason that they're pointing out over here as well, you know, Nomura being very protective of the lore of Final Fantasy now, especially with the remake, and now of course the sequel that's in the work for remake. I think it's very interesting to think about the fact that they actually think about lore and the place that Cloud would have in the game, and it's very sad to see characters like Sora won't even get their chance in the spotlight for Smash Bros. Ultimate, more because of business reasons than anything creative as well. But for Sora, it's just mentioned that it's a Disney-owned character, and that gets things a lot more difficult as well. Well, I think that ultimately, with this game, it doesn't really matter that what we get anymore, right? I think for Square Enix, it would be great to get Geno in the game. That's something that a lot of people want, and if they're cool with that, and it seems like that from this post, then it might still happen. I think that, you know, Sakurai really wants it to happen, and maybe Nintendo themselves doesn't really want it to happen, right? I mean, I could see that maybe the partnership with Square Enix is just over and done, and that would kind of, you know, need them to work together in some sort of way. Maybe that's not really ideal, or maybe they just don't like the character from a creative standpoint. Maybe they don't want to give in to fan demand that much, or maybe it has some other reason that we're not even privy to right now. Ultimately, what I want this to basically signify is that we're not getting any more Square Enix characters if this leak is to be believed, but that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. We already have Hero, and with Hero we have a lot of different heroes with all their own voice clips and outfits. I think that that is incredible, and we have Cloud from Final Fantasy, right? We don't have that much music, we don't have, you know, too many great stages, but what we do have in the representation is actually quite cool, and are characters that a lot of people are still playing to this day. So there is still light in here. I think that the partnership, you know, it's cool that it even happened to have a character like Cloud in Smash. I don't think that it will happen again. I don't think that a character like Cloud will show up in another Smash Bros. Game. So we really have to say, you know, Smash Bros. Ultimate is something that will never happen again, and so we need to cherish this game for all that it's worth. And of course, here on Blocked Content, we do nothing but cherish Smash Brothers. So yes, I'm very curious what you guys think of all this. If you comment down below, that could actually be featured and read out loud in our next video. And today's comment question is, of course, do you think there are more Square characters coming? And as for a previous comment question winner, our answer comes to us from our very own user, Champsy2004, saying, yes, I think Crash has a huge chance at getting in Smash, because he's the only gaming icon missing besides Rayman, and Crash has been my most wanted character since Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and he's probably a lot of people's most wanted as well. And Ultimate is a game that celebrates the history of gaming. Crash would have to be a part of it, so yes, I think Crash will spin into battle. Well, Champsy, you set that really well. I think also if this has to be a celebration of gaming icons that it is right now, it basically just needs Crash and Master Chief if you want to see it, with all those different platforms and characters and specifics. Of course, now Banjo also sort of reps Microsoft, which I think is really cool, and there are different characters that can rep PlayStation. I would even consider Solid Snake being that, and Cloud, but yes, having Crash in there would be incredible to kind of round it off, right? To spin off the roster. I think that would be really cool. So thank you so much for sending in all your comments, guys. These are always so much fun to read through. And of course, a big shout out to our latest Patreon supporters and the super chats you guys sent during live streams. You guys make this channel possible. So if you want to have yourself created in blocked content style, or join us for a discussion, or even have your own ideas become animations, go to patreon.com/blockedcontent. There's a bunch of incredible rewards there. They're waiting for you. And remember, if you're not yet a member of the Blocked Content family yet, hit subscribe now, smash that like button, and ring the bell for notifications, and all the news and fun you care about will be delivered on the daily to you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you around the corner. There's always more Blocked Content. See ya!